Hello everyone, welcome to Engineering Explained channel. In this session, I am going to discuss the explanation of directional control valve repair. As we know that always the hydraulic system require some maintenance after some period of operation. In that, the each major components, the major parts, maintenance we should know that. Repair procedure we should know that. And here, one of the major component of the hydraulic and pneumatic system is the directional control valve, which will decides the direction of rotation or the reciprocation of the hydraulic actuator or a pneumatic actuator. And for that reason, we should know its maintenance, we should know its repair. Okay, if it is not performing well, okay, that I am going to discuss here. Kindly subscribe to the Engineering Explained channel. If you already subscribed, kindly share and comment. Here we'll take that is what the repair and maintenance involves. Directional control valve DCV repair involves isolating the system, that is removing from the main system, cleaning and inspecting the body, replacing worn O-rings or seals, and swapping damaged spools or solenoids. Most valves are not field repairable beyond basic seal kits. Only basic seal kits we can replace in the field of these hydraulic systems. And if any other repair is there, we cannot repair at the field itself. It should be repaired in the workshop, in the maintenance shop. And here, some of those examples are there. The earth mowers what we are using, and some other equipments where we are using in the outside. There, these are not repaired at the field itself. Those to be brought to the workshop. There it should be repaired, and there the what the procedure is there we'll discuss. Heavily scored spools or valve bodies usually require full replacement. Common symptoms and diagnostics of the hydraulic directional control valves. Before repairing, identify the root cause of your valve's malfunction. If it is a malfunction is happening, then what is the root cause for that? We should know that. The some of the common root cause we'll discuss here. Common signs include external leaks, often a result of degraded O-rings, blown gaskets, or a loose solenoid tubes will lead to the external leaks. Internal leakage, fluid bypasses, unintended channels, usually caused by scored spool, worn seal, or system debris. Sticking spool, contaminants such as dirt or metal shavings or raft spring can restrict the spool's smooth back and forth motion. Thereby, the spool may stick or stuck at particular location. These are the common that is signs which are there for required for the repair. Then we'll take the now step by step repair process. First one is the system isolation and removal. That includes that is a set down the machine or system, fully depressurize the hydraulic or pneumatic lines and drain fluid to prevent spills. Okay, first we have to set down the machine or system, then depressurize it. Even though after set down also some pressure is present in the system, that's why we have to depressurize it. Then later onwards, we have to drain that whatever valve is there. Otherwise, the some fluid may contain that may spill during the its removal. Label all parts and lines before deconnecting. All the parts of the directional control valve and lines connected to that are to be labeled. remove the hole from the system and clean its exterior part thoroughly with non-flammable solvent to prevent dirt from getting inside. Okay, outside that whatever surface are there, those are to be cleaned in order to remove the dust or dirt, so that those should not be enter into the inside, the where the some of the very smooth surfaces are there. Next one is a disassembly. After removing the valve from the main system or a machine, then that whatever the valve is there, that is to be disassembled. All the parts of the valves are disassembled. There is the first one, remove the solenoid coils if applicable. If the solenoid operated valve is there, actuated valve is there, then that is to be removed. Otherwise, any other actuation method the parts are there, those are to be removed by unfastening the retaining nut. Here, the whatever this solenoid was there, that is by unfastening the nuts, that is to be unfastened. Unbolt the end caps, springs and detents. The end caps of the holes are removed, springs also and detents are removed. Note the exact orientation of all parts as you remove them. As we go on removing, the orientation, how those are located in the system or in the hole, those are to be noted clearly. Carefully slide out the spool. The spool, what is there? The carefully slide out that one. Smoothly, it should be removed by sliding it. Never used steel tools on the highly polished spool or a bore surfaces. The spool always it is highly polished, and inside bore is also highly polished. And now to not to damage those surfaces, the care should be taken in order not to use the steel tools. Next step is the inspection and cleaning. The part is to be inspected clearly and cleaned it. Clean all the internal parts thoroughly. Look for deep scratches, fitting, scoring, or burrs on the spool and housing board. The what are there? Actually, what happened? That should be inspected. If spool is stuck, it is likely jammed by the contaminants. Hard particles are a sludge. That we should know. Then remaining what it is there, the other what the scratches, pitting, scoring, what it is there, that is also mainly due to the whatever the contaminants present in fluid. Seal replacement. Use brass or a plastic picks to remove all old O-rings, backup rings, and wiper seals. Okay, that whatever the O-rings or uh, backup rings or wiper seals are there, those are brass or steel picks we have to use to remove from that. Okay, like this, wherever the seals are there, those are removed. Seal replacement is to be carried out. Then lubricate the new O-rings with the system fluid and install them carefully to avoid pinching. Later onwards, we have to install the new O-ring. Okay, usually the O-rings, whenever the maintenance is required, we have to replace. Okay, then even though it is not damaged completely, but we have to replace them. Then reassembly with new parts. Okay, what are the parts are required? New parts are required. Those parts are to be used. Otherwise, the old parts only you have to use for the assembling. And the new parts what are to be replaced? Those we are note here. Replace all O-rings. O-rings are to be replaced with a new. Backup washers and seals with a manufacturer approved seal kit. Okay, that what is approved is there. By that one we have to replace them. Lightly lubricate the new seals and spool with clean hydraulic fluid. Okay, that lightly lubrication is to be carried out so that smooth movement we can have around the spool. Guide the spool back into the bore. Never force the spool into the housing. Okay, smoothly it should move back. That should be placed to its original place. Otherwise, it should not be forced. It should slide back and forth with light finger pressure. Re finger pressure. Then reattach the tubes springs and coils. Okay, after the spool is uh, placed into a housing, then that is we have to slide with a finger itself, light finger pressure itself. It should be slided. If it is well moving, then reattach that all the tube springs what are already removed. Then testing. After assembling, the last step is the testing. Reinstall the valve into the system. The valve we have to reinstall into the system or a machine and test its function. Its function is to test it. Check for smooth actuation. Verify that the connected cylinders operate without hesitation and monitor the seal areas for any signs of external leakage. That leakage is also we have to check internal leakage. It's not possible because all the seals we have replaced and we have checked all the spools also. The spool also we have checked. Then thereby the internal leakage possibility is very less. The external leakage we have to check and the smooth operation of that valve indicates that is a smooth actuation of the cylinders or a actuator. Then maintenance and prevention of this directional control valve, what it is required that will take here. The vast majority of directional control valve failures are caused by hydraulic fluid contamination. The major problem is the contamination of the hydraulic fluid. If that is not there, the major failure is not possible. To extend the lifespan of your repaired valve, what we should take care, those are stick strictly to your system's oil change schedule. Oil change schedule, we have to stick to the system. Use high quality 10 micron or smaller filters. The filters we have to use, that is filtering the oil, the high quality filters we have to use, that is 10 micron or even smaller, so that that will not uh, allow the contaminants to enter into the that hydraulic fluid, so that the contaminants will not enter into the that hydraulic directional control valve. Thereby, there is no contamination. We can avoid the its damage. Ensure your system remains dry and cool. The system should be always dry and cool so that there is no leakage outside and that should be not be heated. Okay, it should be cool. Like this, if you maintain the maintenance what it is there, okay, that is to be used and thereby the repair will not come. The longer span it can work. This is about the directional control valve repair procedure. Thanks for watching. If you like, share, subscribe, and comment.